Hello, welcome back to another video. Yes, I have the same shirt on as last time. I didn't wear it all day, yesterday or today. I just threw it on when I got home because it's comfy, but it is clean. I don't know if anybody would be thinking that it's dirty, but I'm just letting you know it is still clean. Um, this is kind of a different video. It's not like, there's not really well, I guess there is a topic, but it's not really like game related or anything. This is a work story. It's something that happened today and it annoyed me, but I also kind of want to hear other people's opinions about it cuz I don't want to be like I don't know. I just don't. I want to look at this from the right perspective. So, I work at a warehouse. I've worked there for almost 3 years and I'm like the main packer. So like in the morning we mainly our warehouse runs like books and CDs and stuff like that, but sometimes we do like other stuff. But in the morning we'll put the orders together, like get the stuff from that like warehouse and then throw them together, put them on our like line, and then I'll pack them on the line and send them up to my coworker who works he like runs the labels for the orders. So this kind of all started when he was gone. He was gone for a few months because he had like some like medical issues. He was just out for a while. And I completely understand that, but during that time I've always tried to be somebody who like listens to people who either have worked there longer or obviously like my superiors and stuff like that. So even if I have an idea, if somebody who has more experience gives their input, I try and listen to that because I don't just want to think I know everything. But when he was gone, I basically had to take the responsibility of packing and sealing and running the labels. Like people would come and help when they could, but like it was basically like on me most of the time. So I ended up developing a system of like how I do things. If people had any like questions that related to like that would directly affect me, I would like give my input and stuff, and basically like I kind of developed my own way of doing things. And so when he came back, we've had issues where like I have my way of doing things that works, but then he has his way of doing things, and he's not like a superior. It's not like I'm just getting mad at my boss or anything. It's like just a coworker. But sometimes the way that we do things, like, or just things in general, like we'll have disagreements on. There was one time where we were shipping out like blankets for this one like ministry, and my boss came back and was like, "What size box do you think this would go in?" And I said, "This might work. It's an 1812 too." So 18 is the length of the box, 12 is the width, and or 18 12 6. Sorry, 18 is the length, 12 is the width, and 6 is the height of the box. And he said that that worked perfectly. So he ordered like two huge stacks of 18 12 6 boxes and said, "These are the boxes that we are going to use for this blanket." So it was like, okay. He came back not too long after and he was like, "What size box do we use with these blankets?" And I said, "Our boss said 18 12 6. He bought all these boxes, 18 12 6 boxes to use for this blanket." And he's like, "You think that they'd work in a 18 12 4 or something smaller?" And I was like, I mean, he said 18 12 6. It fits perfectly in an 18 12 6. we bought all these extra boxes to use for this, and we he came back and measured it himself and said that to just go with that. But he's like, well, you can do that, and I'll just do my thing. And it's like, okay. And then our boss and supervisor came back, like the main warehouse supervisor, and then the boss above him came back and was like, he stopped them and was like, well, he said 1812.6, but I think it might go in 1812.4. And he's like, well, what did I tell you to do it? And I was like, what did I tell you to put them in, or what works best? And I said, well, you said 1812.6, and you bought these two big stacks of 1812.6s. And he's like, oh, we'll just use the 1812.6 then, if that's the one that works. And it's just stuff like that where like we'll have a clear way of doing things, whether like we got told to do something a certain way, or like it's just the best way to do something. And he'll always have like, oh, we can do it differently, we can do it. And then like, but if it's straightforward, it's like it doesn't need to be changed. Like it would just be easier if we did it like he just he just like overcomplicates things, I personally feel. So, which can lead to some confusion as to what happened today, which I might just be like, you know, I don't know. I might just be looking at this wrong, but we have this product from another ministry. We mainly work with ministries, but we had this like, it's a box of like, there's a letter, a partner letter on the bottom, there's books on top, and then there's this other like flyer on top. Like on the books are on top of the letter, and then the flyer is on top of the books. So we had 60. He said basically to do half, I would tape half with the special tape. It's like on this machine where it's like an adhesive tape with water, and the water makes it adhesive, and it's their tape that they gave us, and I taped the box with that. So I'm taping the bottom of those boxes, giving it to him. He fills up those boxes, half of the boxes, while I work on the other half of the boxes, and then I seal those shut while he's filling those other boxes, like the other half. And then once I'm done closing the first half, like sealing them shut, then he'll bring the other half that's full, and then I'll seal those shut. That was the way that we had talked about it, if I explained that well. So he was like, because I just ended up starting to tape them, and so he was standing on the side where he would be putting like the books and the stuff in the boxes once I was done taping them. And so he was like, well, once you get done with your half, let me know, and I'll start like putting the stuff in the boxes. And I was like, cool. Well, I get done with like 8 of them, and then he's like, he just takes them, and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'll just take these and start on them. And I was like, I mean, should we not just do the half like he said, the boss said, our boss said, and then when I'm done with that, we can just do it what we talked about? And he's like, no, I'll just do it, and then you can bring the others when you're done. And I was like, okay, cool, as long as we get it done, I guess. So I'm doing it, and we're just kind of doing it back and forth, where I'm giving him a chunk of boxes, and he's giving me a chunk that he finished and whatever, and it's going pretty well. That just kind of slightly irritated me, but it's not like a huge deal, so I just went with it. And then I get to like, with 60 boxes, and I get to like the last like 3. Like I'm going like as fast as I can, like just to make this time, because it's a job request, so you have to get the job request done in a certain amount of time, and we had like an hour. Um, so I'm trying to get it done in that hour. Like you don't have to get it done in a certain amount of time, but like the time that they're used to is an hour. So the boss was like, "We'll just try and get it done in an hour." So I was trying to get it done in an hour, and the way that he was putting the items in the boxes, it's the letter first. The letter is the first thing that you put in the box, then the books, then the flyer on top. I get to the last like couple. He's set a bunch of boxes down that he's already filled with stuff, and then he walks over with the tray of letters and says, "Don't seal those yet. I didn't put the letters in any of them. I forgot." And I was just like, "You didn't put them in any of them?" And he's like, "No." He said no, so obviously, like, I should have, like, just. So then we had to go and put them all, because he was trying to just put them under the flyer and, like put the letters under the flyer, not at the bottom. But the boss specifically said put the letters on the bottom, the books on top. Like that's just how the company wanted to do it for some reason. But he was just trying to put it on top of the flyer, and it was like just move the books and put them under. It's not that hard, but okay. So we had to do that with all the ones. We had to fix those on top of sealing the other ones that he was making like the correct way. And then we get done with everything, and I go on my break after we finally get it all done. And I go on my break, and then I come back, and uh, my boss is there looking through boxes with my coworker, and I'm like, "Is anything is everything good?" And he's like, "We have like 10 extra stuff," and I was like, "Oh." And of course, he's asking my coworker because my coworker is the one that packed all the stuff. So then we have to open every single box that I just sealed to check if we put the stuff in there. And like he did, but I don't know. I just feel like that process was so much more complicated than it should have been if we had just done it the way that we were told at first. Because the hour that they were used to was by one person doing it. One person got 50 done in an hour. So two people it should have been like 30 minutes, but it was a little over an hour because one we had to fix all the letters and then we had to look through all of them. Well, looking through all of them was after the hour was already done, but it took a little more time to have to fix the letter thing. It was just kind of frustrating. And then when our boss was talking about it, it was like, "Oh man, like this is weird." There was just extra books for some reason. That part wasn't really a big deal, but then my coworker was like, "Well, we just haven't packed this in a while," and I was like, "You were the one putting the stuff in there." I didn't do anything, but I didn't mention the letter thing to the boss, but I was like, "What do you mean we haven't packed this in a while?" No, we haven't, but I know how to do it. I at the very least know how to do what I'm told in the way that I'm told it, but I don't really know. Just stuff like that really irritates me too. Like if he'll ask me how I'm doing something or try and tell me how I should do it better. And like if it's genuinely like okay, like I can see that that could be faster and more effective, but sometimes it's just really little things that don't matter. And this just kind of irritated me. But let me guy bleh. I'm tired of my brain. Let you guys let me know what you think about this. If you like this little rant video, little story time, uh, let me know. Let me know if you want more stories. I got stories I haven't really talked about to anybody, but uh, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys next time.